$69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take it.
Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, February 18th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's doing sports. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
What's coming up in sports today? Big news. What ended up with the hockey game last night?
Well, United States didn't pull through. Sweden won that game, but we think they were kind of just playing it low there. They had a couple of players sitting. They didn't give all their effort, so they lost that game. But big game Thursday night for the championship. All the marbles.
Thursday night championship, and I see that the team has invited 47 to the game.
Ooh, I know.
In Boston. I saw that on Just the News, that the team has invited 47 to attend in Boston. I have not heard if there's been any reply.
I haven't heard yet.
Oh, boy. No, I mean, I was trying to think about this, Slick.
Yeah.
What? I mean, if he was to say yes,
Right.
and you're going, let's say if you're facing Canada again
In Boston.
in Boston, now,
Boston, the Garden.
I just wonder if that's if you're inviting too much pressure on yourselves, or if they would feed off of it.
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure. They got to win in front of
To
47.
have 47 in the house,
Yep.
USA versus Canada.
Yeah.
Canada becoming the 51st state, maybe on the block.
Yeah.
And 47 was out yesterday golfing with the Buffalo Bills. Did you see that one?
Where was he?
He was out golfing with the Buffalo Bill players. Yeah.
Well, he was in Mar-a-Lago still today. He did sign some executive orders. I was covering that this afternoon. So, all right, we'll get to all that in sports. Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. How are you?
I'm freaking freezing. Thank you for asking.
Well, I didn't dress you.
Been freezing since this morning.
I mean, who
0
put that
degrees.
shirt on you?
0 degrees
His kindergarten
this
teacher.
morning.
Why do you wear a shirt that looks like it fits Kevin Hart? I would start there.
This is a size medium. But anyhow, 0 degrees.
I mean, if my arms looked like that, I'd probably wear short sleeves too. So I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Can you give us like a little? Like, can we get a full like? Can we see like what?
If my legs look like that, I wear shorts.
No. Okay.
You want to see what time it is?
Yeah. I want like a full. I want a full like.
All right, what time?
Okay. There you go. That's good.
Look at that.
Good. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
But I'm still
So-
freaking freezing,
Yeah.
and I
well,
hate life.
Okay.
I mean, 0 degrees sucks unless you're with a lady. And I wasn't with a lady this morning. I was on my way to work. So,
There we go.
it sucked.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
Little-
description. Is there anything in the news that's caught your attention other than the cold?
Little cognac
Yeah.
to go.
Freaking asteroid's going to destroy us all.
There we
I
go.
saw that.
That's
They've
nice.
upped the chances for about 0.5%, which
Yeah.
seems like a lot.
It is.
Yeah. Went from
Seems
1
like-
in 86 to 1 in 32. I
Seems
believe.
like we're all dead at this point.
We could be.
Although I
Speak
didn't
for
see
yourself.
I didn't see any of our cities anywhere we live on the
On the block, so to speak.
on the top chopping block. You're out of here. Deal.
Depends if it's an earth killer.
No, it's not going to be an earth killer. It doesn't look like it's going to look like a city killer or something.
All right.
So I did see that too. Vinny Max here. Vin, how are you? Are you afraid of dying?
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm
Okay.
not afraid of the asteroid. I watched the hockey game, by the way. The best first period of hockey I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
Yes, we talked about how exciting it
Incredible.
was yesterday.
Yeah. And I've got guns, too. I just like to cover them up a little.
Yeah, just
I like
keep-
to be
yeah.
discreet.
Yeah.
Okay? Not too obvious.
Keep those pea shooters in there.
Yeah. Those little BBs are hanging out right where they should.
Yeah. All right. Anything in the news?
Sorry
you
to hear that.
Anything in the
Still
news
talking
that's
about
caught
their
your
arms?
attention?
getting tested. here.
Did you see Trump's last executive order, the IVF thing?
Yes. Where are all the hysterical left-wing media groups that told us he was going to ban it? Where is the apologies tonight? Oh, nowhere.
Yeah, what people don't understand is an IVF, I have a lot of experience with this. So let's just say I have an intimate experience with IVF. And the gay community is probably the most prevalent user of IVF to have children, because obviously they can't have biological children the same way that a male-female couple can. And so IVF is not only a breakthrough, but he is looking to put it out there for free, for people to be able to use it for free. It costs a ton of money, no insurance. I could speak from personal experience. It's like $8,000 a pop, and they don't all work. So it's kind of amazing that he did that. It goes to show sort of how, open-minded he is to just solutions.
Well, it also shows you that. I don't think this is a stretch. I think most conservatives would not be in favor of this executive order.
Why is that?
Most true conservatives are not fans of IVF because they think that you're actually destroying life in the embryo, because so many of them go to waste. I believe is the argument that a lot of conservatives make, that that you're futzing with something that shouldn't be futzed with.
Like, here's the opposite view.
So I think just my point is most conservatives would look at this and not be a fan of this executive order. They were not a fan of him talking about expanding IVF back when he talked about it in the campaign, and the media attacked him for it, saying he was a fraud, he was going to close it down, he was going to cut all options. Well, here you go. Just showing that sometimes he's not ideologically driven at all, and sometimes he's not even like what his side, quote unquote, supports driven, because this is something I would think most conservatives are not supportive of.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point with that, and they likely aren't. If you saw the new data on pregnancy rates, they're not good. Just natural pregnancy rates. It may have a lot to do with this whole thing that RFK is talking about, with all the diseases and all this stuff, because pregnancy rates and the ability to get pregnant, it's the worst statistical numbers in history. in general now. And the thing with IVF that's interesting is it's for people who can't get pregnant naturally. And the fact that you can actually have a child through a process like this, I mean, the embryo argument by some on the right, yeah, I get that. But you're talking about people who can't have kids.
Right.
They biologically can't. There's just whatever the reason is. There's some medical reason, and they use this process, and it works, and the kids are healthy, and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a great thing, and it's really helpful for humanity. It's especially helpful for parents that want to be parents that just can't do it naturally. Right. It's all of a sudden you can have a kid. It's great.
For example, Rachel Campos Duffy tonight, I would much rather POTUS and Robert Kennedy Jr. be spending our money figuring out why infertility in America has skyrocketed rather than subsidizing big pharma and IVF. We're always treating symptoms rather than the underlying root causes in the country. I just picked that one because it happened to be the first one that comes up. But I think if you do a little research, you will find most conservatives are not going to be fans of this executive order.
Yeah.
See, and I would think they would be, because it's like, what, you want to have kids, you want to build a family. I think that's supposed to be a positive.
That's
right?
my point. Is the family side? These are people who really want to have kids,
right? And I know
that.
people that have used it, and it's because there was an underlying condition where they weren't able to. They tried, they couldn't do it. They went this route. Finally, it happened, and now they're happy.
The argument is that you'll create 15 children, and out of those, you may get 1 or 2 actual live births. The rest get killed, destroyed, and killed. That's the argument of the conservative side.
Gotcha.
And there's a realistic argument there, because I remember situations where people are given options like, well, we tested these embryos and there's a potential autism here, or potential this or that, and people got a little nutty with that. That's a real negative to IVF. If you're a purist like I am and you're just happy that it works, you're like, don't even ask me that question. Right. I'm going to take. If it works, I'm going to take what I get, because that's what would happen in my real life anyhow without IVF. So there's a salient argument, though. I mean, I understand where the right's coming from. I don't agree.
Over 90% of children created by IVF die, either left frozen and abandoned, destroyed due to eugenics, experimented on, or miscarried. Only 7% are born. It's dreadful. That from Liz Wheeler tonight. So again, I'm just making the point that I think you'll find a lot of this if you go searching. Yep. And that's just, I mean, that's where people fall on it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there you go.
What else is in the news today, Delgado, that's caught your attention? I watched the president down in Mar-a-Lago today sign these 3 executive orders and took some questions. A lot of it on Doge. Still, everybody trying to find their footing on Doge. I saw Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on with Brett Baer tonight, talking about Doge and talking about the money they think, they're off to a good start. He thinks about $50 billion they found.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, by the way, the Treasury Secretary.
Yeah. Elon's floating the idea, if they can get to $2 trillion, of returning payments to taxpayers today. Did you see him float this idea?
Wow. Yeah, I heard about that. And that's going to be definitely a lot more than the $700 the Biden administration to everybody?
I think they're floating the idea of around, I think they said if they get to $2 trillion, it could be $5,000, something like that.
I heard 8, but maybe
per
it's
tax-paying household, something to that effect.
Wow. Which is
that's material.
Right. That's an actual sum of money that people can actually put to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pay off some high credit, some high debt credit cards.
You could do some real stuff with that. $700. I mean, for really, that's a month worth of food. I mean,
if that.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Or on Long Island, it could be your power bill.
It could be easily.
Yeah, that's how crazy it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the president took questions again today, and he played. Vin, you weren't here last night. We introduced a new game here on the show. Trump actually played True or Fake at his press briefing today.
Yeah, he read off a list.
He did. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you think, well, he's playing? I don't know if he was inspired by us last night. Probably not. But
I was going to say yes. Of course,
there's always a chance.
But he played True or Fake today at the press conference, and I was live streaming, covering it. And I'm watching the chat. People are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. And the chat was loving it.
Yeah.
Still playing from last night.
He also went through a list of the, all the really old people that are somehow, we have millions of people that are, over 120 years old. I just never knew they were out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
And they're all collecting Social Security payments.
200, over 200, yeah.
Yeah, over 200.
I got a lot to say about that one.
He said at one point as he's going through the ages, he said, okay, now we'll get to 150 to 175-year-olds, he said. And he goes, I haven't met any of these people yet. I'd really like he cracked some joke that was in his perfect timing that he has.
His comedic sense is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that. And also I got a clip. I don't know if you saw the clip of Kevin O'Leary.
No.
He went on CNN. And he's, I think you could tell from this clip, and we'll play it in a little bit, that he's kind of a fan of what they're doing with Doge and what the president is doing in terms of shrinking the size of government.
Well, isn't that the argument, though? Like, who's not a...
It's the wonderful.
I mean, raise your hand. I mean, the Democrats are not a fan, not because necessarily they don't want to shrink government, which we know they don't, but they're not a fan because they're getting kneecapped of all their sources of money laundering.
Yeah.
That's why they're not fans of it. Reducing or not reducing the size of government is just an extra thought for them. They're thinking, well, wait a minute. How am I going to get rich at this job?
Yep.
How are my friends going to get rich? How am I going to get money down to like the Biden family did?
Yeah.
Can't pardon all my friends before I leave. I don't have that power like Joe did, but I need to be doing the Biden family business here as a Democrat in Congress. I can't be doing that if Doge is... I can't be paying my 150-year-old aunt anymore, and I can't be sending money to the some front group that acts like they're doing world peace that's funneling it back to my campaign or whatever.
Yeah, and I can't send it to a company in my district so I can get a nice cushy job as their
when I leave or whatever. My family
as their
gets
chairman. Right.
Yeah.
When I get out.
That's what they don't like about Doge.
That's why they hate it. That's why they're freaking out.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see the Kevin O'Leary clip. I love Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, he goes to town.
Yeah, me too.
All right, good. Mr. Wonderful. 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do news with Delgado, some thoughts with Vinnie Mac, sports with Slick, Aaron and Fran holding it down all on a Tuesday night. We're back right after this.
See if I can pull it.
I'll get him. Chat. What's going on, chat? This
Super
break sponsored by our friends over at Seven Cells. You want to try to avoid the flu that's going on, by the way.
Oh boy, I couldn't avoid it.
The ivermectin that they have, and they have the one that goes with it that'll help you avoid the flu. I can never remember the name of it. It's nitazone oxide, which they also sell with the ivermectin. That's the combo you want to stay away from the flu. The nits, I call it the nits. The nits is a bigger pill. The ivermectin is a small pill. You take the two of them together. That's what you want to stay away from the flu that's going around.
It's a killer, man. Too. It's like a
Brutal.
week to 2 weeks of flu.
Some super chats on YouTube. LSU Patriot $5 super chat. Check Trump's 5:11 p.m. truth. He's getting rid of Biden's. Yes, I have that. All the U.S. attorneys.
Yep, that's a good.
Great show, guys. Watching with Grandma as usual. Hi, Grams.
Oh,
she said Vin is so handsome.
There you go.
Grandma.
Vin.
You're a very wise woman.
Speak to
very
Grandma.
wise.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Grandma.
LSU Patriot again, $10 super chat. I have 8 female friends who have all had IVF. Every one had an autistic child. I suspect a few more of my friends have had IVF, but not sure. They also have children with autism. Get on it, Delgado.
Well, I think we know it's probably more from the vaccine program of the how many freaking shots? 70 some odd different chemicals they mix together. Could be more than that.
Gina Barnes, welcome
probably-
to being a member on the YouTube channel. We appreciate that. Chat.
Let's get back to Grandma here because I think she's onto something.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure.
And and this is all real, Grandma. No Botox, that's my natural hair.
And no shoe polish anymore.
No shoe polish.
Which
I'm
is
not looking like
good.
Jerry Lewis. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I know. It only took me like 4 years to get Vin to do that. Right?
Well, you had
Maybe 2.
you did have a point of view. Let's put it that way. And that was a product we were testing for one of our sponsors
I was
back
just
then.
trying to help you.
Yeah, thank you.
I said you're a good looking guy. Just roll with it.
I appreciate that.
If you're covering up that, what else are you covering up? That's what people are going to think.
Exactly.
So I tried to explain this to you all through the late 2016, 17. Stop coloring your hair.
I have the Lee press-on chest hair, which I put over here.
Just
It's
unnecessary.
really nice.
Just a world of hurt.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do sports. Delgado's doing the news. Vinnie Max here. He's going to do some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. If you're in the chat, welcome on in. All of our friends on YouTube, X, Getter, Rumble, Facebook, wherever you are, YouTube, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up or hit the like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. As we continue to try to grow the social media numbers, we appreciate that. Facebook almost at 120,000 now. We appreciate
Unbelievable.
that.
Nice.
Absolutely awesome.
Although I have to say, well, speaking of that, Meta Facebook customer support is the single worst experience I've ever had of anything I've ever done, period. There's nothing close. It's
Wow.
the worst customer service ever. Ever. You can't get to a person that could actually help you if your life depended on it. We need to change this bank account for where they deposit money for ads that they get to run on our channel. Do you think I could get somebody? The system will not allow us to change it. Won't allow us. You cannot click on change. It's grayed out. The button does not work. Try to get somebody to go ahead and try to get somebody to tell you why it's not
You
working.
couldn't get Danny and Dubois to answer the
I
phone?
would have a better chance of finding Mark Zuckerberg at some Hollywood party that Vin could take me to while he went and argued with someone over politics in the first 5 seconds we were there than getting someone online at Meta to help us be able to figure out why it's not available.
You've reached Meta. Press 1 if you want to change your bank account. Press 2.
Press 2 if you're a conservative.
Oh, my God. We've been going through it for 2 weeks.
Just
That's
tell me
probably
what movie
why.
you'd like to see.
Unbelievable.
Think about it.
The worst.
We've heard about them debanking conservatives around the world, right?
Yep.
Why would Facebook change anything to make it easier for you? You're a conservative. They know that.
I mean,
Come on.
whatever. I'm just going to give up at some point. I don't know.
That's what they're hoping.
Yeah. Well,
Because at
they're
some
going to
point-
succeed.
At some point, people give up. They forget about the money. Next thing you know, oh, well, I guess it's a dead account. We'll just take it ourselves.
Mark Zuckerberg, if you're out there listening, he might be out there.
I mean,
gotta
the
deal with
worst
this.
customer service ever is at Facebook. The worst.
You know what? I bet you if you challenge him to some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, he'd respond.
All right, let's do sports. 19 past the hour. Something more
Speaking
fun.
of sports.
LFS6B is the promo code to use. At our friend Mike Lindell, who sponsors Sports MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Did I tell you somebody bought a queen mattress and it was 50% off with the use of our code?
Wow.
I was like, what?
A queen. How much is that? You have an idea?
Like half.
It was like, yeah, it was 50% off.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What's going
amazing.
on, Sports Lick?
All right, BD, let's get to the scoreboard. March Madness almost upon us. We're getting there pretty soon. It'll be Selection Sunday. But we got Division I basketball right now. Teams are jockeying for position. Villanova 55-52 over UConn. UConn just can't seem to get it done. 4 minutes to go there in the second half. We got Florida, number 2 Florida, that would be the Gators, over Oklahoma right now, 53-33. 15 to go in the second half. Also second half, we got Mississippi State 44-34 over Texas A&M. And we have Michigan State right now, 52-39 over the Boilermakers of Purdue. 13 to go there in the second. And just underway, Iowa State, the great state of Iowa, over Colorado right now, 13-5. TCU leads Texas Tech 14-12. Again, both games are very early. No NHL action because why? We got the big game coming up on Thursday night, Big D. And this is all the rage. And President Trump seems to really be putting a spin on this game. In fact, a GM is crediting, GM Guerin credits Trump for USA Canada's finals political flair. This is an AP report out of Boston. The general manager of the U.S. team in the Four Nations Face-Off hockey tournament said he would welcome a visit from President Donald Trump to the championship game between the U.S. and Canada on Thursday night. Bill Guerin, who played 18 years in the NHL for 8 teams, said on Fox News that Trump's presence would give a boost to the rivalry between the North American hockey powers. He credited Trump's tariff threats and talk of making Canada the 51st state that with ratcheting up the intensity in their fight-filled matchup in the preliminary round. We would love it if President Trump was in attendance, Guerin said in the interview broadcast Monday. We have a room full of proud American players and coaches and staff. Listen, we're just trying to represent our country the best way we can. The tournament marks the return of the top hockey stars to international play after they set out the past 2 Olympics. The United States beat Canada 3-1 on Saturday in a game that began with 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. The quality of play, intensity of emotions, and geopolitical backdrop have drawn comparisons to the Americans' Miracle on Ice. I've heard that mentioned quite a bit over the last few days.
Thank you.
Victory over the Soviet Union at the 1980 Lake Placid Olympics. I think there's a little bit of political flair to it. It's just the time that we are in, Guerin said. If you let it get the better of you, then you're in trouble. But I do think that players use it as an inspiration. Since his January 20th inauguration, Trump has attended the Super Bowl and NASCAR's Daytona 500. And here's to hoping that he shows up on Thursday night. We'll be watching the game and reporting live scores on Thursday night from the show, right, Big D? We're going to catch that. And boy, it should be a lot of fun in Boston's TD Garden. I really do hope the president shows up. But, you know, he's a busy guy right now. He's trying to stop a war with Russia and Ukraine, right? He's obviously trying to balance the budget here as well. So he's got a lot going on. But I tell you, the president, and that's one of the reasons why I have this job on the show, because I always told you the president likes sports. A lot of our viewers, I don't watch sports no more. Well, the good thing is I got the Trump on our side because he does love watching the games, and I'm glad about that. And man, that'll be 2, if not 3 appearances at sporting events, Big D, in literally within less than 2 months of his
big-time sporting events too. I mean, the biggest, right?
So here's my question I'm taking out of this sports report. Are you calling for your own firing in 4 years?
No, because we're going to have JD for another 8 years, Big D. Yeah, JD's going to like sports too. He may not like him now, but he's going to like him hanging around with the president.
Okay, I got nervous there for a second. All right, very good, Slick. Anything? Is that it for sports?
That's it for sports. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up.
All right, sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by our friends at 7 Cells, 7cells.com. If you're looking for ivermectin, that's the place to get it. 7 Cells, big banner right on the homepage, live from studio6b.com. We'll take you right there. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, I know there are probably bigger stories in your mind that might be bigger for people, but this one is huge, especially if you're into American icons, one of which is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, KFC. Did you hear about this? They are leaving the state of Kentucky. The fried chicken chain's U.S. headquarters is going to move from Louisville, Kentucky, to Plano, Texas, according to the owner of the franchise Yum Brands.
Mm-hmm.
About 100 KFC U.S. employees are going to be required to relocate over the next 6 months.
Trying to get away from Mitch.
The relocation, the relocation is part of the broader plan to have 2 corporate headquarters, one in Plano, Texas, and the other in Irvine, California. KFC and Pizza Hut's global teams are already based in Plano, while Taco Bell and Habit's Burger and Grill teams are located in Irvine. It isn't entirely abandoning Kentucky, though, people of Kentucky. The company does plan to keep KFC's foundation, plan to maintain their corporate offices in Louisville. Plus, they are still in plans to build a brand new flagship restaurant in its former hometown. They said part of the problem was that many employers started thinking about relocation. Again, this cuts back all the way to COVID-19, the pandemic. Often spurred to move because of lower taxes, changes to office space needs due to hybrid and remote workforces, plus the business-friendly policies of Texas has been one of the most popular relocation choices since 2023. So there you have it.
They're not changing their name, are they?
Huh?
Are they changing their name?
They're not changing their name, and they will keep an office in Kentucky. Yes.
Okay, so this is a serious question.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
Nope.
Not trying to be a smartass.
Not at all. Never would think that.
What makes this an important story?
It's an American icon. It's an American company icon. Everybody knows KFC.
Come on,
Come on.
the Colonel.
The Colonel, Kentucky Fried
Plus,
Chicken.
we only had 3 minutes, and I had to get something short on it.
Right.
There you go.
I don't want to get into a big story and cut it short.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll take a
Talking
smaller
turkey, yeah.
short story and make it big.
All right, very good. We'll do some more news with Delgado coming up. 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Plus, Vinny Max here. He's got some thoughts on whatever's going on.
I got
out
some
there
thoughts
in
on
the world.
Carvel. I'm going to talk a little bit about Carvel if we got that
Another
coming up.
American icon.
Carvel, please.
Slick
visit
Rick will have more sports. Another American icon.
Yeah.
And Aaron and Fran, two more American icons. They're holding it down.
That's right.
Wednesday,
We'll all be
Sunday.
back
Bigger news.
Willie the Whale.
on a Tuesday night, and maybe we'll replay the president's version of True or Fake.
Ooh, I like
Nice.
that.
How about that?
Oh yeah.
Plano.
They go
How
banana
about
when you
whatever,
Texas.
Texas?
Pronounce a state wrong or
Oh,
some
my
a
goodness.
city. They go crazy on these things. They go. Is that what he did? Did he
I think it's Plano.
Yes, I don't even know what he said.
It can be.
He doesn't even
did you
pay
say
attention.
Plano?
I'm surprised you even
Panko
knew what story I was
breadcrumbs.
talking about.
I think Colonel Sanders is from Staten Island. Maybe.
Chat.
You know, I would think you'd be more into the KFC story, given that's what Taste the Biscuit is about.
Taste the biscuit.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Hello.
Oh,
Go.
Okay.
I think KFC biscuits are pretty good, aren't they?
they are
yeah, they're
pretty
very
good. Yeah.
They are good. The rest of the stuff you die from eating that stuff, but it's not. That biscuits are good.
No, you
Biscuits and
can't.
gravy.
You
They could
die
possibly
from
be
eating
a
it.
sponsor.
That stuff's
someday.
no good. That man. the
RFK is
cholesterol.
not going to support KFC. All right.
I
Let's
mean,
put it that way.
you wouldn't eat KFC if it was the last
Yes,
thing on
I
earth.
would.
Look at
He
you.
eats Burger
It's
Queen. This guy.
chicken.
What are you talking
Oh,
about?
you do? You eat crap?
I love chicken.
He
I love
eats Wendy's.
Really?
I am a junk food nut. What do you kidding me?
Oh, I wouldn't
Tim
have thought
Hortons
that,
donuts.
Delgado.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
thought you were eating grass-fed this and all this other
Nope.
crap.
Well, he just does a lot of exercising.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I'm.
Just ride
That's
your
why I'm
bike.
able to. That's why I'm able to eat that stuff because
60
I take care
miles
of
a
myself.
day.
That's why the socks are warming up.
Now you eat good during the week too.
No,
I
I
know
eat good during the
You're,
week.
you're catching holy hell for your pronunciation of something in all the chats.
What did you pronounce?
I'm just telling you that right now.
I think I
actually lived in
mispronounced
Plano.
Dano Plato, Texas, or whatever it's called.
Plano.
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 Whatever. I don't live there. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Nevada.
Oh man, we got killed for that. Nevada.
He got killed for that.
What was that town we talked
You
about
ate
way
that
back?
one.
Gonzaga. Oh, Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Right? You remember that?
Yeah, the college.
Gonzaga.
Sabrina. Well, how did she pronounce it?
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, but what about the sports guy who can't pronounce Nike? Nike. How many times have we heard him say Nike?
I say Nike. I say Nike.
The E silent.
Right.
You can't say Nike.
Plano. Tweet Potato ordered my chat shirt. Congratulations. Very good.
Broke spoke.
Like that
Delgado's
shirt.
bike electric.
I got one coming myself.
Your bike's not electric.
I haven't had Kentucky Fried Chicken since I was a kid. Now, I've had Carvel. I still go to Carvel.
Oh, yeah, I still go to Carver.
Regularly go to Carvel.
They make
Remember
the-
Chicken Delight?
They make the best shakes.
Remember Chicken Delight when we were
Actually,
Delight,
the only-
yeah.
The ones that make better shakes, or believe it or not, are the Mr. Softy trucks.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh,
Easily
Mr.
the best
Softy.
chocolate shake.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes, their shakes
They
are.
kill.
Mr. Softy, right?
Yeah. Not even close.
That's it. He does it. Mr. Softy.
That is the worst rendition I've ever heard.
Because what happens is the sound is coming out of the fender.
Yeah, I did the small stick.
This one's about McDonald's.
30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B
Yeah. Gonna cover all fast food.
on a Tuesday night. This episode is brought to you by What's a fast food
Taco Bell. Taco Tuesday.
conglomerate?
You know what? Papa John's. We love the Papa John's.
Papa
He's
John's.
awesome.
Papa John's been
That's
on the
right.
show. I love Papa John's.
That guy,
friend of the
that
show.
guy is
30 minutes
awesome.
past the hour. Let's do some more news with Damon. Thank you for being nice-ish to our Delgado. I see an improvement lately.
Yes. Newfound appreciation.
God.
You know why you see an improvement? He's paying less attention to me.
No comment.
All right, let's do some more news with Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
Well, I was telling you earlier about, we've been talking about Doge and everything that's going on with Elon Musk. And, of course, President Trump cutting waste and fraud from the government. And, of course, the size of the government in terms of the amount of people that work for it. Well, here's Kevin O'Leary. We had talked about this earlier. Cut number 6. Here he is talking about exactly what Doge is doing. And he's actually calling for more of it. And you got to watch the silence that overtakes the CNN set as he starts going off on this. Cut 6. Check this out, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary.
I think the issue is they're not whacking enough. There's this concept in private equity when you get a bankrupt company and you go in there, you cut 20% more than your initial read. And then you find like a pool of mercury, the organization gels back together again. Always cut deeper, harder when there's fat and waste. The FAA, it's not the people. The code is cobalt. It's from the 60s. It needs CapEx put into it for the technology to be upgraded to make it safer. Fat like a chicken. All of these agencies are like big fat chickens dripping over barbecues of fat. This is the best barbecue I've ever seen, but I don't think it's happening fast enough. They're not cutting enough. Keep slashing. Keep hacking while you have a 24-month mandate before the midterms. Cut. More cutting. Believe me, it's going to work out just great. Everybody should be
people with
happy
the
about
nuclear
this.
codes, cut them too.
Cut everything.
They go to
Because
the most
if you don't
ridiculous
see
thing.
what
I know.
they're doing
So
and they can't show
ridiculous.
you that they're adding value, you whack.
Yeah, you whack.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that woman?
None
What kind
of
of
these
a
people
question
have
is that?
ever been in the press. They have no clue how companies work. No clue. Hiring and firing and reorganizing what it looks like. No clue. Oh, they fired all the nuclear codes, so we were all exposed. This ridiculous argument they keep making over the last couple days.
Right. Meanwhile, the guy who had the nuclear codes didn't know where he was most of the time. So save us your screaming about nuclear codes. The guy that was in charge for 4 years.
Stuff.
Yeah, the guy who was in charge for 4 years couldn't spell nuclear code.
What were we going to say, Vin?
I was going to say that this is a ridiculous comment, an ignorant comment, and I love Mr. Wonderful. He's spot on. Anybody, by the way, you don't have to go into a bankrupt company. You want to look at a company and try and fix it, which I've done for 20 years. That's the first thing you do. You start looking at where the waste is. Sure. You start looking at where the efficiencies are. You start doing exactly what they're doing. And hey, I got something to remind everybody of. They don't have all of our personal data. They have view-only stuff. This is the Treasury Secretary pointed it out pretty well. They're not pulling out our stuff. They're pulling out information they can view only and making recommendations to get it cut. And when Trump approves that, they cut it. End of story. And he has every right to do what he's doing. I'm going to talk a lot about this when I get my little segment here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other people that are complaining about the cuts, as you guessed it, finally it's starting to percolate for some of these Republicans out there, one of which is Chuck Grassley. He says Congress can't do anything except complain. That's from a social media post, of course. Firings looming at the FAA, the VA, the SBA, and the IRS, Department of Education, a range of other agencies. During a conference call earlier today with Iowa reporters, U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley recalled having been fired several times decades ago when he worked in the private sector. Reports say thousands of federal workers were fired across the country in recent days as President Trump and Elon Musk launched what's being described as a purge of the nation's bureaucracy. Grassley says it's all within the president's authority to make these changes. This is an executive branch decision that who works for the executive branch is determined by the president of the United States. The Constitution says all executive power of the federal government shall be vested, and that's the word that's used, vested in the office of the presidency. Though Grassley said he feels for those losing their jobs, but insists he can do little to intervene. Congress can't do anything except complain about it, but I think we have the sympathy and the understanding for the people that are laid off. And a lot of times you're going to see more of these guys, more of these deep state, not so much Chuck Grassley, but the what do you call it? The deep staters of the world in the Republican side start to get a little nervous when DOJ comes to the Department of Defense and agencies like that, where for a long time they've gotten a lot of good stuff passed, for the people in their districts, and even for companies that don't really do anything.
It's going to hit the conservatives too.
It's going to hit everybody.
Yep.
So get ready for that. And lastly, I've got a couple of clips of President Trump. Do you want to do some of these? Because I've got the clip of him reading off the Social Security payments and the waste, fraud, and abuse on a different clip.
Yeah, let's do them. Let's do the Social Security one. I love that one.
All right, this is cut number 8. Here's Donald Trump from earlier today at Mar-a-Lago during his press conference, going over the Social Security payments to really, really old people. Cut 8.
Over 120, from 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. Wow. That can't possibly be, because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old, 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000, 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going, because we're looking to break the record by 25 years. People from 150 years old to 159 years old, 1,345,000. These are by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well.
Yeah. This is a habit going through the millions of people that are over 120 years old.
Yeah.
As part of the, the receipts, they say.
That wasn't the whole clip, because I think at around 160 or 180, he starts to really do his comedy routine, which is just hysterical. I mean, the whole thing's not funny, obviously, all this money, but he is funny.
Yeah.
And I think around 170, he starts to say, wow, I've never met it. I'd really like to meet some of these people. He said, I worship the ground they walk on if I can meet the 170-year-olds who are still collecting Social Security.
Right.
So, all right, we'll do some more news. Let's do some news with Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac is here. Vinnie, people ask me where they can find you on socials. I mean, is there anywhere they can find you on socials other than Facebook? Or
yeah, I'm on X.
Well, what's your handle on X?
I think it's my name.
Okay.
At Vincent Buda. Yeah. I'm on X, and I'm on Facebook. I believe it is. I got to go look. I don't think I've used Twitter or X in a while, but I'm on there. I got a lot of followers. Thank you. A lot of followers.
Okay.
Not active, though.
They're about 170 years old and up, but I've got a lot of followers.
Social Security. Okay, good. All right, so what's going on within what's caught your attention, Vinny?
There's so many things. This has been a real vast array of things that are interesting and catching my attention. But I'm going to stick on Doge and take a couple of different angles here, because I think that this entire Doge apparatus and movement and what Trump has put in place is the nucleus of his entire presidency. And it's the nucleus of fixing this country. And this is not a Trump thing. We all love Trump as MAGA because we love our country. We're supporters of our country. 25% of the U.S. economy runs through the government. 25%. So if we make a dent here in the United States Treasury and every department that we're cutting money to the point of $1 trillion, $2 trillion, think about the impact that's going to have on our economy. Couple of points that are derivatives of all the stuff that Musk is doing in Doge. And by the way, he won off of a liberal judge today to continue to do what he's doing. The 14 AGs from different states all tried to stop them. They're going to continually do this. And even a liberal judge was like, I don't see the harm here. Like,
not just any liberal judge, by the way. Yeah. That's Judge Tanya Chutkin, who we've all become very familiar with. She was the tip of the spear, as Big D used to call her, remember?
Yep.
In the documents case. Was it the documents case?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think she saw the writing on the walls, like, they're going to focus on me if I make this political. I better stick to the letter of the law.
Hey, it's so good that she did what she did, and that's going to happen. There are going to be judges that are going to be political, and they're going to say no, and there are going to be judges that are going to do what this woman did and say yes. The Supreme Court ultimately is going to back all of this stuff, but this leads us to so many things. Number one, I have an image I want to put up there. I think it's VB1, if you got that there, Aaron. What that says is something remarkable. What that's basically telling us is 60 to 80% of every department in the government, every one of them, are Democrats. All of these state workers, all these people that are resisting the change inside, they're not just a majority. They're the super majority of the workers that are inside the government that DOJ is starting to put out. You could take that down. So that's one thing that we're finding through all of these things that we're exposing. You wonder why people talk about this deep state. And I've been ridiculed by even using the word deep state. Well, that's it. That is the deep state. It's all of these people. Next up, they're going to go after the corruption in our government. It's the only way to fix this. They're wasting our money. They're going to special interests. They're sending stuff for just dumb stuff. I think that's obvious. But our politicians are getting rich, and they're identifying that. And I've just identified the folks in the squad. Why? Because I can't stand the squad. So I figured if I'm going to point anybody out. But this goes for just about everyone in Congress and the Senate. And there's a lot of conservatives that are going to be part of this too. But you've got AOC. She had a net worth before she joined Congress of $15,000. Her net worth now is, I'll get you guys guess on this. What do you think her net worth is now?
$50 million.
$23.6 million. $15,000 on $150,000-$60,000 salary, it's $23.6 million. Ilmar Omar, she had a $62,000 net worth. Now it's $26 million.
Of course.
Rashid Tlaib, can't stand her. $8,000 net worth, $17.2 million. And this Ariana Presley, $3,000 net worth, $41.3. Those aren't isolated examples. That's across the board. And we got to do something about it if we're going to solve the problem. So this is the nucleus, I think, of Trump's entire presidency. Everything else is going to spawn off this.
All right, more with Vinnie Mac, and then we'll do sports when we get back right after this. Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night.
Why not?
On your banner? Because you don't have a...
I got nothing. I can do a Tom Carvel impersonation, though, which I'll break out for you at one point.
Cookie Puss.
What's that?
The Cookie Puss ice cream sandwich.
Really?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. Someone set it up for me, so do you want to fix it? I don't know. Go ahead. Every Wednesday, Sunday, Willie the Whale. I used to love his commercials. My friend Greg has told me a story about, I think, his grandfather who knew Tom Carvel and was there when he invented Carvel. And they invented it because his ice cream was melting.
Wow.
His ice cream was melting, and he decided to serve it soft. And people loved it. And that became the impetus of creating Carvel as a guy, I think, from Astoria, Queens. Somewhere like that.
Because I don't think most of the people on this show know Carvel if they don't live on the northeast area.
It's in California, I know that, but you're right. The rest of probably the country, the Midwest or whatever, might not know it. It's soft serve ice cream that a local guy made, and it became a real famous chain here especially in New York, right?
You know what Delgado's favorite ice cream is, right? From Carvel? The flying saucers.
Oh yeah. Those are good. Yeah. Yeah, because he's gonna knock off that asteroid with his flying saucers made out of ice cream. Does that work?
It does now.
Thank you for doing that.
Your last post is May 1st, 2023.
So I think the Trump. So I guess I got to get active on X. So I'll start doing that. But the story is that his truck broke down, Slick. His truck broke down with the ice cream in it.
Yeah.
And that's how the ice cream melted and became soft serve ice cream. Now, I don't know the story behind the sprinkles, but I'm going to dig into that and let you know how we got into those. But there is something there. Lisa French grew up in Staten Island with Carvel. So yeah, if you're a Northeasterner or a New Yorker, sure, come on, that was a rite of passage. I mean, I've been going there since I'm a little kid.
Yeah, they still have Carvels. I don't know how profitable they are these days, but
they're still going. They're still going now that.
Delgado, you like the flying saucers from Carvel?
I just got the numbers of on Kentucky Fried Chicken. They went way up. Sales are way up since you mentioned it, right?
Wow.
Way up, like 20%.
Wow.
Yeah, that image there. That's Samba's place.
I know.
That's the studio. Yeah. That's beautiful.
What's up with him?
Oh,
no word.
He's in Dubai now. It's
nice.
This guy is hard to keep up with, to say the least.
Chat. Delgado doing the 30th Amendment. Yes.
Yeah.
Studio 6B, 13 to the hour. Hour 1 on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing news. Vinnie Mac has got some thoughts, and we're going to go back to Vinnie Mac so he can finish his thoughts on how everybody in the squad, unless they're selling records that we don't know about, is getting awfully rich.
They're getting rich.
Yeah. So, and by the way, you can follow Vinnie on X, but it's last name first, first name last. So it's at Buda Vincent. I guess Vincent Buda wasn't available, so we did it reverse.
Either that or a liberal set it up for you.
I don't know. I don't know how the heck it got set up.
At Buda Vincent, I'll share it on the Live from Studio 6B page too, but we got to get Vinny's only got to, we got to get this cranking over here. So go follow Vinny.
Yeah.
And you can see all of his social media rants, and maybe you can get in a fight with him over something. It's easy to do. So
I welcome all challengers.
There you go. All right. So Vinnie Mac, what else were you thinking about after you finished your point here on these?
Well, two more points on Doge.
Yeah.
Two more important points. One is they've also found $4.7 trillion in payments that are unaccountable. Now, some of them might have gone for good things, but they're unaccountable, meaning there's no note, there's no identification. This is insane. So part of the entire Doge thing is fixing the process, but 4.7 trillion with the T in payments that are unaccountable. But what really got me going on this whole Doge thing are the amount of people getting Social Security checks overall. Now, we talked and laughed a little bit about the 100 and 125, 150. There's more people getting Social Security checks than actually live in the country. And what they're finding is that a lot of these are these illegals that are in this country. And the left has been using this to siphon money to them for what? For votes. I say to my friend Doug, when I got into many, many arguments on social media about why Biden had open borders. Why? Well, no, he doesn't have open borders. It's not a strategy. They just don't, they did this or did that. I'm like, no, this is for votes. So if you want votes, you let people in, you give them money, and now they're giving them Social Security money. I'm 63. Can you believe that? 63. And I'll be at some point collecting Social Security.
Wow. I would not have guessed a day over 61.
You'd know, it's impossible. I know, it's incredible, but I am. And Social Security, they say, is going to be running out of money in 10 years.
Yep. Oh, God.
Now, they're really not running out of money. It's impossible they're running out of money. But when you're paying double the population that should be paid, you're going to run out of money. And that's the bottom line to all this stuff. So I think most of my rage this past week has been all Doge related, because every time I turn, I find something else. Not to mention, we've all seen a lot of the ridiculous payments to things that we think are just incredibly stupid. And we're going to continue to see those things. And that's going to happen longer and longer. But there are two things that this is going to have a dramatic effect on. One is our national debt, and the other is inflation. And what does that mean? Low interest rates, jobs, higher wages, a lower cost of product, all of these things. That's really what's happening here. And that's why I say this is the nucleus to all of what Trump is really trying to do. He will immediately halt inflation, frankly, through this. That's how inflation got caused, because they overspent. They put all kinds of money into the system, and we're finding and most of it's wasted. So you lower the debt, and you knock out inflation, and so many other great things happen. So that's my latest rant on this. It's a nucleus to the government right now.
All right, 9 minutes to the hour. We'll do more of Vinnie Mac here in hour 2. Let's do a little more sports, though, before we wrap up hour 1. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use. Go to mypillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals. I was actually on there today looking at some of the deals that are on there. Mike has got his cross now for sale. He's got the pillows on there. He's got sheets, a good special on sheets. So if you're looking for anything, whether it's a birthday, whether it's for you're shopping ahead of time for Easter or whatever it is, lots of great stuff. That cross, so that's a nice Easter gift for somebody.
Yeah.
Take a look, mypillow.com/LFS6B. Use promo code LFS6B at checkout. Slickster, what's going on in sports?
Right, we've been talking about this big game Thursday night. Well, there's some fighting words out there now. Canada's Brandon Hagel takes shot at Team USA. We're playing for the flag, not the cameras. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. A war of fists and shoulders erupted Saturday night in Montreal between the U.S. and Canada. 3 days later, a war of words continues. The first of 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game involved Canada's Brandon Hagel, also who ended up on the short end of this scrape against Matthew Tkachuk. Yet coming up on the short end of this fight, and the fact that Team Canada lost the game 3-1 has not discouraged the scrappy Canuck, as he feels the Canadians hold an advantage over the Americans. They're playing for the flag. I think we're out here playing for the flag, not the cameras, Hagel said when asked about the matching of Team USA's physicality in Thursday night's championship game. That's a part of Canada that we have in there. We don't need to initiate anything. We don't have any group chats going on. We're going out there and playing our game and then giving it everything and doing it for our country. We don't need to initiate everything. We're just going to play as hard as we can and do it for the flag on the chest. Hagel's group chat reference is due to Team USA's Brady Tkachuk revelation that the Americans had planned to set the tempo for the game with a series of early fights after the first puck drop. Yeah, there was a little discussion during the day. Tkachuk said there was a group chat going on today. Still slept like a baby, though, just kind of reaffirmed like that we would do that. Hagel's implication that the Americans are playing for media attention and not pride in the flag will no doubt stoke the fires of Team Canada's rivals to the south. In fact, one shouldn't be surprised if Hagel finds himself in a scrap early in the championship game. Somebody's going to probably go, "Let's go, Brandon," to Hagel,
exactly.
right? Yeah,
give him a little pop across the chest.
And as we said, the Four Nations Championship game will take place Thursday night in Boston at 8 p.m. puck drop. And like I said, we're going to definitely cover that game live here on the show.
And you know what? Hopefully the president does show up.
Oh, I hope so, too.
Because, you know what, that's going to, you know, when he showed up in the South Bronx and did that rally, that kind of last-minute rally?
Yeah.
This would do a lot for, you know, for building more, you know, more of the MAGA in that part of the country. Because let's face it, there's a bunch of massholes up there.
That's right.
And we need to convert some of them. And I think this would be...
That started with an M, right? A hard M?
Yeah, with a hard M. Yes.
Hard M.
Massachusetts.
Right.
Massachusetts, Boston.
Very religious.
Yes, exactly.
So I think this would go a long way to, you know, again, fortify some of this, you know, turning these Democrats, these blue dog, turn them into blue dog Democrats, Reagan Democrats,
and maybe
bring them back over.
Get Canada, you know, familiar with their new president.
Right, exactly.
As they become the 51st state sometime.
Hey, hockey players are the real deal.
They are.
Like, I'm not going to say they're all MAGA, but they get it. These are not snowflakes.
Yeah.
They're not like what we see in the NBA. They're not like we've seen in some other sports. Hockey players, man, are different.
They're the least paid of the 4 sports, too.
Yeah, they are the least paid. And I was talking to my partner. We've made some movies in the past, and one of the movies that we made through our mutual company, Solaris Entertainment, was Miracle on Ice.
No kidding.
And they used that as inspiration. And I was telling him about it. He had no idea. I'm like, didn't you watch this thing? Like, the guys were watching the movie. I mean, I still get chills from from that movie, and I had somewhat of an intimate relationship with it. But
Jim Craig.
The Herb Brooks speeches.
Yeah, they were
I mean,
incredible.
they're as good as any speech you'd see in anything.
Ruzioni. There was some great, unbelievable. Yeah, so we're excited. That's going to be a big game on Thursday night, Big D.
I can't
don't know.
It'll be a big game either way, but I think if 47 shows up, I don't know. I started the show by asking, do they put too much pressure on themselves?
Yeah, they might
That's
tighten
a
up.
lot of pressure.
They might tighten up.
I would see it. I would see it the other way. I'd be like loose and freaking pumped up. Like, let's go. Let's drop some gloves some more.
You're pumped up for every show.
I could see that too. I could see that too.
It was the best opening of a game I've ever seen.
9 seconds, 3 fights. I've never seen that. I've been watching hockey 50 years. Incredible. That's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. We'll do some more sports in an hour or two. We'll do some more news with Delgado, more news with Vinnie Mac. I'll get to some things as well. Plus, we'll get back to the president's press conference today and executive orders that he signed at Mar-a-Lago. He played a little version of True or Fiction himself today, like we did last night, which, by the way, the audience, you guys were great with that last night. That was a lot of fun. All credit to Paul Nolan on that one. Hour 2 coming up, live from Studio 6B, right after this.
All right, so we're in the chat. We're in the chat.
Let's
Why doesn't she go on YouTube?
chat. Any super chats? I haven't seen any super chats.
They only watches it on regular TV.
What does the audience
She's a
think
fan.
of
She's a
Trump
dog
showing
walker.
up for the
That's how I
hockey
met her
game
down at the
Thursday?
beach.
Do you think? I think it'll be a positive for the for Team USA, or will it force them to tighten up?
Yeah, how about
As
a
David said.
one for a positive and a 2 for that'll tighten them up and not a good idea?
There you go.
Let's see what they come up with here. 1 for positive, Trump flies into Boston for the game Thursday night, or 2, it's going to tighten up the team and better that he stay away and watch from the White House. Yeah.
Talk to the guys and maybe not do what he did with Daytona and others.
Where's this Brandon guy on Team Canada? Brandon!
He's going to drop the ceremonial puck.
I want to say hi to Governor Trudeau and, wish them good luck.
Yep.
Imagine he comes out and skates, and he's just skating around and throws down, throws down the first puck.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
D. Lavaca in the Twix chat. How you doing?
How you doing?
Farmer Brooke is in there. The real Bruce Lee is in there. Getting a lot of ones showing up in the Twix chat for the question. 111 111 Wild Bill Cannon likes it.
A lot of ones. Everybody wants to see the president.
G.I. Joe is in there. Gary Haas is in there.
Yep.
Let me go over to the Rumble chat real quick.
They like the fight, with the fight from the assassination attempt. Yeah.
Wow, look at all the ones in the Rumble chat.
You got an occasional.
Man, oh man.
You got an occasional too, but
you
not
got
too many.
one or
I'm
two
getting a lot of people
here.
on X. This is crazy. Someone posted and said, "Hey, go follow Buda Vincent and argue with them," which is like 90% of what I do on social media.
Gary S.
See the super chats. There's some. Super,
Gary S. in the YouTube. 1111111. He wants to see it. Janet's the same way. A
Jim
lot
C.
of ones. All right. You know what? I think if President Trump showed up for the hockey game Thursday night, it would definitely be a positive. I think the players would get a charge out of it, maybe loosen them up. He might even go in there and talk to them beforehand, right?
Yeah,
Give a
definitely.
little rah-rah speech.
Well, I don't. You know what? He kind of minds his P's and Q's. I don't know that he would go into the locker room and
maybe
do that.
not.
I don't think so.
But he might just stop in and say hi.
That he could
before
do
the
it.
game.
and that in itself is everything. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So
But I think that'd be cool if he shows up. Well, it depends on his schedule, right? We don't know where he is on Thursday.
I think he makes his own schedule.
That's true. But then they got to pay for the flight to Boston. It's going to cost
Really?
money.
They got a plane. He's got a plane.
Well, yeah, but it's cost money. You know, they
All right, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, Real America's Voice, Hour 2 on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Vinnie Mac's got some news. Rick Delgado's doing the news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you, the live from Studio 6B audience, whether you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Getter, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Follow the channel. Then, of course, head over to most importantly, head over to livefromstudio6b.com and sign up to be a member there. If you have a Facebook or Google account, any Google account, if you use Gmail, you can sign up at Live from Studio 6B with either one of those in about 2 seconds. It's really easy and simple. And get on the mailing list, get on the email list. We send out codes, we send out promotions, we do all kinds of stuff. Plus, you can watch all past shows, all past segments, all past Crazy Towns, all past What Even Is That, all of our merch. Everything is there. So make sure you head over to livefromstudio6b.com and sign up to be a member there. Lots to do in Hour 2. We'll take a look at more of the president today down at Mar-a-Lago. He signed a couple executive orders, really only 3. The one big one was the IVF that we talked about in Hour 1. The second one was something about government workers. And I think the other 2 were fairly insignificant. Not insignificant, it's the wrong word, but the IVF was really the kind of the one I think that he had this today. And then he took questions. And, of course, a lot of the questions centered around Russia and Ukraine. And the president actually was fairly, I don't know if the word's forceful. Did you watch him? I watched a little bit of it. He took a pretty strong position against Zelensky today. In this whole claim of they're not at the table. President pushed back fairly hard on that today.
Well, he's not going to take crap.
What kind of joke is this? What are you talking about? You're not at the table. You've been there for 4 years.
Yeah, he's not going to take crap from a Zelensky.
He said an average salesperson, a guy off the street, could have sold a deal here over the last. I mean, what are you talking about? You're not at the table.
Yeah, I thought what he did was more than appropriate, because if Zelensky's complaining about this, he's complaining he's not at the table, and a realist would look at that and say, well, where have you been the last 4 years? That's essentially what he said. Where have you been? Like, I don't understand. This is not a difficult thing. You could have at least started it. At least, Trump started the fire here. He's getting criticized all this hard time. He's having peace talks.
Yeah,
we haven't talked peace with these people in 4 years since the war started. No peace. Nothing. Not one conversation. Not a telephone call. Zero. And he by the way, Zelensky, if you're watching, he might be watching, If Zelensky, if you are watching, you met with Trump. He spoke with you. You went to Mar-a-Lago. You spent a lot of time with them. He knows what you want. But guess what? Who's got the bigger stick in this game? Russia does. Okay? We're trying to make some peace so you don't get wiped out, which is where this thing is going at some point. So stop your crying.
I kind of chuckled when I hear the news report about how one of Putin's big thing is that he wants to see elections in Ukraine, and that's high on the list of important things to him, that they have a reasonable, fair election in Ukraine. And I was thinking, well, when's the last time they had when's the time they had an election in Russia where his opponents didn't end up falling out of a 4-story building?
Well, 4-story.
I'm just curious.
They're very accident prone.
I'm glad this is high on the list of importance to you, but when has it happened where you are?
It's usually 10 stories. I mean,
right. Skyscraper diving.
Put his puppet administration in, and that's basically it.
Yeah, and I was like, what's of importance? Oh, really? Pot, meat, kettle. Okay. Gotcha.
Just don't eat.
But it is interesting because he does bring that up, because the last time they did have an actual fair election in Ukraine, well, the CIA didn't like the results, so they overthrew them. and we've been where we are now with who's in charge.
Yep.
The selected and the people put in charge of Ukraine, selected by CIA and U.S. state diplomats.
They were concerned about.
That's a great way to have a country.
Were they concerned about corruption in Ukraine?
Yeah, something like
that, right?
About that.
Yeah, something about corruption in Ukraine.
Yeah, something like that.
It seems to be the corruption capital of the world, to be honest.
It is the corruption capital of the world. That's another reason why they don't want peace. They don't want peace, not the left. This is another part of the money scam. Think about some of the things that Doge is going to uncover when they get to that part.
That's going to be fascinating.
It is.
Fascinating to see where this money went.
And it'll be interesting to see who survives. Not only in firings, but in not being thrown out of windows, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know exactly
or
what you
diving out of windows to protect themselves.
Or mysterious deaths.
Before we get to some more clips from Trump today, I want to get to one clip. Vin,
yes.
You were speaking about movies.
Yes. Thank you.
You've done movies
as a former model for many years as well.
Are you aware of the BAFTA awards? BAFTA.
I have heard of them. Yes.
Okay. Well, tonight I believe the BBC was broadcasting the BAFTA Awards 2025, and Mark Hamill, who we better known as Luke Skywalker, went up to the podium. Put this up, Aaron. Just tell me if this is like one of the. Is this a Jedi mind trick, or what is this called? As he takes to the podium here.
It's a mind trick, all right. May the voice be with you.
What do you think happens here? Okay, let me pull
it's the clip on those tux rentals, that you pull the waist in, and I think it's separated.
I mean, did Mark Hamill's pants really fall down while he was at the?
Jedis are supposed to have that rope that goes around
the rope. Is this like
rope?
the hand thing? He can move things like in the Star Wars deal? Did someone do that to his pants?
I think his lightsaber cut his belt.
Put his pants halfway down the ground? What is going on, Mark?
What's going on here?
Mark Hamill's pants.
Stormtroopers.
Yeah. Jeez.
They went down by accident. Bill Clinton's went down on purpose. That was a big difference.
Exactly.
That's right. He looked like a cigar.
Man. That's a tough presentation there.
I don't think I can look at Mark Hamill the same way ever again.
Wow, man, oh man.
This year the nominees. Oh, jeez, that's a tough one there. The force is not strong with that one. All right, 7 minutes past the hour. Let's do some news and let's do some clips from President Trump today, Delgado. What do you got?
These are not the boxers you're looking for. All right, so talking about President Trump speaking from the podium at Mar-a-Lago today, doing a press conference, so to speak, talking about a wide range of things. But, of course, our favorite is when he starts talking about things called waste. Here he is when asked about the head of Social Security and what has happened to them. Here's cut number 3. Check this out.
Resigned or got fired? I think got fired. When you fire somebody, they always resign, and then they say, we resigned. But when you have numbers like that, I think really it's got fired. They have to get fired. Who would keep them? How could you have numbers like this? Now, the big thing is, how many of these people got paid? Were they getting paid? How many of them were getting paid Social Security? Because if that's the case, it's a massive fraud. We'll have to call those great Palm Beach police into this situation, right? You guys would figure that out very quickly.
Yeah, so there he is talking about the recently fired head of Social Security. And then, of course, without fail, he goes off here on cut number 4, reading off a list of waste and fraud and abuse that Doge has found while doing the due diligence of trying to find all this waste, fraud, and abuse permeating the federal government. Cut number 4, check this out.
$2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process.
Tell me that doesn't sound like one of mine last night.
and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did $500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation.
Oh, that's a one.
In Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence. In Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali.
It's a stand-up comedy act.
$2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia.
That's a one.
Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo and Ashkali and in Egypt. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're doing it. But when I saw the Social Security numbers, I said, wow, that's really something.
Yeah. So there you have it. Some of the waste, fraud, and abuse that they found so far. Trump reading from the list, providing the receipts. We'll see if any of the mainstream media actually reports the news there on that one. And finally, Trump says he has instructed the DOJ to terminate all remaining Biden-era U.S. attorneys. Kaboom! This hitting just before showtime, as U.S. President Donald Trump said earlier today, he wants it cleared out because it's been politicized like never before. He says we must clean house immediately and restore confidence. America's golden age must have a fair justice system, and that begins today, Trump said in a post on Truth Social. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to requests for comment because they were all fired. Last week, the White House sent termination notices to several U.S. attorneys around the country who had been appointed by Democratic former President Joe Biden. And on Monday, several U.S. attorneys appointed by Biden announced that they were stepping down. Others left the government last week. And there was actually one attorney, I guess, let me see if I can find this real quick before I run out of time. One attorney stepped down after Lee Zeldin tasked this top D.C. prosecutor with doing a probe into the climate funding that was done by the Biden administration.
If you have time, go look at Glenn Beck's interview with Sean Spicer that he did, I think, today or yesterday, and listen to Spicer lay out the pretext that they came up with to get Biden, when he was still in office, to have this ability to go up and just fire anybody, and the way they kind of walked him into it. It's a fascinating listen. And it's really the pretext for what Trump is doing now. And Biden basically laid the groundwork for Trump to be able to do this, which is exactly what needs to be done. The firing of all the prosecutors today is exactly what needs to be done.
100%.
So that is a fascinating listen. It's like 12 minutes long, so I can't really play it on the show. But if you haven't seen it, go watch that segment, Glenn Beck and Sean Spicer. It's really good. And speaking of Stephen Miller, I have a clip of Stephen Miller with Breonna Keeler today over at CNN. Someone needs to go check on her and see if she's okay. So we'll get to that coming up.
Her therapist showed up right after that segment, I believe. Been 1,100 and change before.
All right, we're live in the chat. The real Bruce Lee
Can you find the old...
is in the Twix chat along with Ann Miller,
1.4.
Cassie, Tree Finder, college grad failures in there, as well as Commander Mike.
Commander Mike.
Commander Mike, Gary
If you
Haas.
haven't followed Vin on X, go follow him at Buta Vincent. I shared it on the LFS6B. He's at 1,400 people. We need at least 2,000. So we need to get 600 more people to follow Vin on X tonight. So if you haven't followed him, go to our page right on the LFS6B X, and then you'll see my post. Actually, I'll pin it at the top so you can easily find it. And then you can go follow Vin, and then you'll have the right to argue with him once you follow him.
Follow me right to Carvel. We're going to go there, and we're going to have a group discussion.
Yes.
Thanks
So
for the scoop.
That's pinned.
Big D, the super chats. Can you find some of the old super chats? Because there's some people saying there was some chats in there. John Q. Public and a few, I think.
Well, I think I read 3 that were there, unless
It's
there's more
just
than
free?
that.
Okay, that's all there is. I'm just following the YouTube chat, trying to be respectful.
I thought this was called Slick's
It was,
super
but
chat.
for some reason, you got to show
something
me
or
how to
other.
find the old chats. I can't find some of the, when I say old, I mean the ones that came in it'd be like 15 minutes. to
Okay,
take
2
them off.
more. LSU Patriot, $5. She is swooning. She said the hairpiece is excellent. She used to own a salon. She says, good job. Oh, that's to you, Vin. She's Grandma.
Wow.
Grandma is swooning. She said the hairpiece is
swooning.
excellent.
This is real.
Yeah,
Man.
that's-
Look at that.
Good
But
report.
it could be a hairpiece. I could be a hairpiece model.
Yes.
How's that?
Yes.
Yes. very
Even
good.
better.
John Q. Public, $10
good.
super chat. FYI, a lot of us pardoned from January 6th are now facing state charges here at home.
Oh.
I said that was going to be next, did I
Yeah.
not?
Yep.
My pretrial motions from court-appointed public defender start tomorrow morning. Please pray for me. Thanks, John Q. Public.
That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
What happened?
Crazy.
That the states are going after these pardoned Jan Sixers.
Oh, yeah. They said they
Aaron-
were going to do it.
Aaron, $4.99 super chat. Just a reminder, if a CR is passed as forecasted, it will get another year of Biden-Pelosi budget. All the dumb crap will be funded and nothing doged. And that's exactly right. I've been waving the red flag on this from the moment that the first numbers came out of what the Republicans are looking to do here. Reconciliation, they're going to let it. They're going to blow it.
Don't blow these 2 reads here.
Oh. 2 reads?
2, yeah.
Call up Dave Syverson on X. He's going to do them.
Speaking of blowing.
I sound like the blues. 17 past the hour. Let me talk to you about our friends at Patriot Mobile. While we may have won this election, the fight to restore our great nation is only beginning. Now is the time to take a stand, and Patriot Mobile is leading the charge. As America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet. Without compromising on quality or convenience, Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend your rights and freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage because they operate on all 3 major networks. If you have cell phone service today, you can get cell phone service with Patriot Mobile with a coverage guarantee. But the difference is every dollar you spend supports the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based customer support team will help you find the perfect plan. Go right now, patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, R-A-V, or you can call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service. Say what? I said a free month of service with promo code RAV, R-A-V. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every call and text that you make. Visit patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Well, it's a new day in America and a new administration in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of excitement and optimism about the future, but the reality is there's a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The truth is that the forces that are responsible for breaking our healthcare system aren't going to simply go away. The challenges our system faces won't disappear overnight. Now more than ever, you need to be prepared. And that, of course, is where the Wellness Company comes in. Their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their line of prescription medical kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, or the travel kit, These prescription kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications, from the flu to strep throat, from COVID to bird flu, from a trip to the beach to a trip overseas. The Wellness Company has a prescription kit designed to keep you and your family safe. Make America Healthy Again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice today in order. That's twc.health/voice, and use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com/LFS6B, mypillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals for this audience. Use promo code LFS6B at checkout. It'll give you a great savings, sometimes upwards of 50, 60% on whatever you put in your cart. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, men's basketball Division I NCAA. A couple of finals in the books already. Michigan State defeated Purdue 75-66. Good matchup there, number 14 versus number 13. Mississippi State over Texas A&M. A little bit of an upset there. Number 21 beating number 7, 70-54. Number 2, Florida took care of business against Oklahoma, 85-63. And UConn came back and defeated Villanova 66-59. In action right now, good one. Iowa State right over Colorado 47-30. That number 5 Iowa State, and Texas Tech right now trails TCU 41-36. President Trump golfs with Buffalo Bills players on President's Day. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. The Buffalo Bills did not end their season the way they wanted, but their offseason is going quite well for a few of them, at least. On Monday, several Bills players traveled to Trump International Golf in Palm Beach to golf with President Trump as he celebrated President's Day. The Bills players in the picture were Spencer Brown, Dalton Kincaid, Ryan Van DeMark, Tommy Doyle, and Sam Martin. Brown, who shared the group pic with the president on his Instagram page, captioned the photo. I don't have the picture, with 4547 written in the caption. Met the president on President's Day, Doyle wrote in his own story. He is the player in the group photo wearing the Make America Great Again hat. Like you couldn't tell what it was.
Thank you.
Trump saw a surge of support among NFL players in the 2024-2025 season, most notably when 49ers defensive end Joey Bosa jumped into a post-game interview wearing a MAGA hat just before the election. That was great. I remember that. Many thought the Bills deserved to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Instead, the Chiefs, after a few controversial calls, went against them in the AFC Championship game. Still, Philadelphia was really good, and there's no real reason to believe Buffalo would have fared better than KC in the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Bills played lights out, so very tough to win that one. And one more golf story there involving the Trump family, if I may add, Big D, and that would be Trump's granddaughter is going to be golfing with Charlie Woods.
Charlie Woods.
Yeah, I'm losing. I lost the story because I can't pull it up right now. But yes, so she's going to be golfing with him. There's a 60-player golf tournament for young teens, and she's going to be doing that as well. So I'll get that story up in a little bit.
Kai's a hell of a golfer.
Yeah.
She's got a hell of a swing. And by the way, she's a hell of a content creator as well. Her YouTube channel, she creates great content. She gets it. She absolutely gets what it takes. Her YouTube business will be a business for her all alone, all herself. That alone will be a business for her, and probably a multi-tens of millions of dollar business for her, what she's building on YouTube. Yep. The golf YouTube community, thanks to guys like Grant Horvath and some of the other guys who have built up this YouTube golf sensation that they've, and Bryson DeChambeau obviously is probably the top guy that's bringing attention to YouTube golf. I mean, it is huge now.
Yep.
Huge, these kids with these golf channels, and she's right in the middle of it, and she produces great content.
Yeah, she does. She also committed to the University of Miami. She's going to be going to school there.
Golf.
That's going to be a great.
She's a hell of a golfer.
And Charlie Woods, of course, most notably played alongside his father in the PNC Championship on several occasions, with 2 second-place finishes as his best result, including the 2024 event. So that'd be pretty cool. Charlie Woods and Kai Trump, that'll be great. I'm going to catch that. So that's a wrap in sports, Big D.
All right, Slick, very good. LFS6B is the promo code to use at MyPillow. They sponsor sports. Let's do a little news before we hit the break. Then we'll do some more with Vinnie Mac when we get back. And here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, speaking of cutting, it's continuing all across the board as far as the federal government's concerned. Now the Postmaster General is heading for the hills. He announces plans to retire. The Postmaster said he will remain committed to the Postal Service. but he's going to be leaving, and search for a replacement is underway. This happening as Postmaster General Louis DeJoy said Tuesday he announced his plan to resign and urged the service's Board of Governors to begin looking for his replacement. The announcement comes approximately halfway through his 10-year term, which would drastically update the mail service 10-year reform plan, I should say, that was supposed to drastically update the mail service. DeJoy first took office during the COVID-19 pandemic in June of 2020. While there remains much critical work to be done to ensure that the Postal Service can be financially viable as we continue to serve our nation and the essential public service mission, I've decided this time to start the process of identifying my successor and preparing the Postal Service for this change. He outlined some of the strategies he has already begun implementing, but of course, you may know that the Postal Service is billions in the hole.
Yeah, it sounds like he's mailing it in.
It sounds like he's basically running for the hills. DeJoy also offered eligible employees early retirement buyouts as well as for himself to mail handlers, which they have until March 7th to decide if they want to take it. Retirement would then go into effect for those mail service workers on April the 30th. So the purge continues from the failures in the federal government to find people that can actually do the job. And
it's not going to be difficult.
No.
I mean, people are all astonished by all these things happening here. This is the easiest job in the world, by the way, that Elon Musk is doing. Even though it's difficult in the sense you got to get in there, it's the easiest thing in the world. We're overstaffed. Yeah. It's gross.
Simple as that.
We spend too much money. We waste. All he's got to do is just keep finding it.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Me too. He is such a winner, man.
25 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some more news of Vinnie Mac, Rick Delgado, more sports with Slick, all coming up when we get back right after this.
That would be cool.
We got a lot of 137, 150-year-olds in the audience talking about collecting Social Security checks.
Wow.
Chat. What's going on? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, whatever platform you're watching on. We appreciate it. Let's see. Rosalind Travers on Facebook says, great show. Thank you. Fran, people like the music, as always.
Yeah, good guitar, man.
Thank
Good
you.
guitar.
Great on the show.
We need the games, Damon. KC58 on X. What does that mean?
I don't know.
We need the games?
Yeah, think about that. Could be code. Need the games.
Maybe they mean the real or fake game that you've called something different every time you mention it.
Oh, they like the game you
the
play.
president just did it.
Well, he did, but they were all ones.
Oh, you want to do another one?
Yeah, they won more.
That was fun last night. I had some good ones.
It was Clueless. That was good stuff.
I did some today during the stream that were good too.
Anything under the guy?
In the YouTube chat, Big D, the
what was the
PhD's
other word you said?
The amidst.
Amidst, yeah.
the PhD's wife asks Damon, "How's your back?"
Well, you've got the PhD. You tell me.
No, the PhD's wife. I'm not his wife. His wife's asking in the YouTube chat.
It's getting better. Slowly getting better.
Yeah.
It's just stiff in the morning after sleeping. It's so hard to get
Delgado
going.
has that problem.
It's so hard to get going. It's like I can't. I got to stretch more.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
Juveniles.
Yeah, I'm keeping my guns in.
That's it.
What's the best platform to use during
Tell by those
commercial?
biceps. He doesn't have a problem.
I think any of them. Damon, do you always stream on X? Yes.
Sometimes he's on coke. No, I'm kidding.
That is weird, wacky
Are you
stuff.
drunk tonight? Did you hit the Balvenie like
Yeah.
Pelosi before you
Yeah.
came to the
He
studio?
doesn't drink at all, this guy.
I noticed a little something with Rick tonight when I got to the studio. A little something.
something's
little
going
something.
on. I think he had KFC on the way in.
Yeah. What the? No. Well.
Now that I think of
He's going to hit the Wendy's drive-thru on the way home.
Damon, is it still snowing? No, but it is cold as
tomorrow, no.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts here in a second. Delgado's doing the news. Slick's doing sports. Lots still to do in hour two. Get to a couple things here if we can. President gave a press conference today, answered some questions at Mar-a-Lago. We've been playing some of that as well. I took a pretty strong stance on Zelensky today and the money. Of course, Zelensky tries to say that the money that we say we gave him hasn't. Trump threw out, I think, the number $350 billion today.
Yeah. Easy. By the way.
Right?
Easy.
And I was going to say that seems probably a little light. Well, I don't know. I don't know. That could be right.
Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was like $100 billion at one point. So
Yeah, I think that in the first year it reached $100 billion. And remember when $1 billion was a big deal to Ukraine?
Sure.
Like
yeah.
Joe Biden was touting, I'm going to come over there and do a big signing for that check. Son of a bitch, he fired the prosecutor.
Hey, whoa.
Right, for $1 billion.
Yeah.
What?
Some
Yeah.
language.
I'm quoting the former president.
That's
Yes,
a quote.
I know.
Yes.
I know you are.
That's,
Quoting.
That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed today is the editorial piece in the New York Post, because obviously the media, in all of their ability to try to get a handle on anything to try to talk reasonably about, they can't get ahead of, they just can't find their footing because Trump keeps moving at Trump speed, as we said last night. The New York Post today, another thing that the left's trying to argue but can't, because you know what? The strategy is working, and that is Trump's strategy for getting Europeans to step up. And it's working. And they say the Trump administration's much criticized strategy to get Western Europe to do more to defend itself is working. Yes, Europe's leaders were miffed that President Trump had a one-on-one call with Russian President Vladimir Putin last week, apparently without consulting them, and that he sent Secretary of State Marco Rubio, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff to Saudi Arabia to discuss a possible deal to end the Ukraine war with their Russian counterparts while not inviting them. Last week, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told NATO members in Brussels, leaders of our European allies should take primary responsibility for defense of the continent. A few days later, J.D. Vance followed up at Munich, the security conference, by reaffirming that, quote, we want to make sure that NATO is actually built for the future. And we think a big part of that is ensuring that NATO does a little bit more burden sharing in Europe. All of this sent the legacy media into hysterics. The New York Times declared, quote, Trump team leaves behind an alliance in crisis. CNN claimed the Trump administration has shattered Western unity on the conflict and cast doubt on how far the U.S. would go to defend Europe, signaling a stunning shift towards Putin and away from America's traditional allies. Well, while Trump and his team are walking a tightrope on which much could go wrong, the truth is that Europe's leaders have been only too happy for too long to let the United States lead the way on protecting Ukraine and the continent at large, and on picking up a disproportionate share of the bills we've been doing for doing that. So the White House is sending a stern message. Step up, because the United States isn't going to be your sugar daddy forever. Show some initiative on Ukraine, on dealing with Russia, on putting your own troops and resources on the line. Come up with a plan for Ukraine and longer term for the continent that has Europe as the primary party responsible for its security. What's the result of all this? Well, lots of grumbling, but on Monday, panicked European leaders held an emergency meeting in Paris to discuss the possibility of sending U.S. peacekeeping troops to aid Kiev. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is for the first time even open to putting peacekeepers in Ukraine. That's the best path forward. If Russia is going to be kept in check long term, NATO allies need to start doing their share. Trump's approach may be delivering a bit of tough love, but in the long run, it'll mean stronger European ties to America, and it'll mean a stronger Europe.
And security. How many times have you heard about Ukraine's, and there's the one thing I agree with Zelensky on, is what's our security going to look like going forward here? Russia just invaded here. You won't let us in NATO. So you do this, right? You have a guy like Trump who pushes some buttons and also tells the Europeans exactly what you just read. Wake up, do your fair share, get your butts in Ukraine and your money, because they need security and they need support. So it's such a Trump thing. He comes out, he makes a broad, hard statement or movement in something. The media goes completely bananas. And in a couple of days, he gets all these things to move. Look at the tariffs. You know, when we would send a car to Europe, I think we got charged a 20% tariff, and they got, a 1.5% or something small. You know, they lowered it to what our tariff is, the European Union. They lowered it. All that craziness we heard. All this reciprocal thing Trump's pushing. Everybody went mental. Very quietly, the European Union lowered that. This is the method to the madness. And in Ukraine, it's going to work. I think that's why he's playing things the way he's playing them with Zelensky and Putin.
Yeah. Well, the same thing happened with Gaza, right? He said,
exactly.
You know what? We're just going to take it over. We're going to move. We're going to fix this problem.
Exactly.
Unless you guys do. And all of a sudden you start seeing they start moving. All of a sudden, Lebanon. Oh, yeah, we're going to take some refugees. We'll give them a little spot here to hang out.
They wouldn't take anybody before.
Right. They don't want any of them.
None of them. No, not one country.
Right.
Wanted one Not one.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's almost like Blazing Saddles. They'll take everything, but you can keep the Irish. It's like that kind of thing. They didn't want them for some reason.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. Good reference.
All right, 37 past the hour. Vinny Mac is here. What else has been on your mind, Vinny?
What's been on my mind is, and I did some research on this, and I'll get to a very interesting point towards the end here. But why do they lie? Why is everything a manufactured message from the left or the media? I got into a little to-do over the price of eggs.
You did?
Yeah.
You?
Huh.
Over the price of eggs. Wow. And I'm wondering, why am I arguing about the price of eggs? There's the bird flu, isn't there? Am I crazy, or is there a bird flu?
There is.
Okay.
They say there's a bird flu.
Yeah.
I am crazy, and there is a bird flu, so both of them are true.
I don't know.
So I'm arguing about this guy about the price of eggs, and he's saying that, Trump, I thought he was bringing prices down. The price of eggs went up. I'm like, there's a bird flu, you moron. And before Trump got in office, they killed half the birds.
Yeah.
You got to make it, the eggs. I mean, are you out of your mind? And then so I start peeling back and I start looking at everything. Al Sharpton's decided to boycott white-owned businesses. Okay. No press on that, by the way. That's not too racist and divisive, is it? No, not at all. Then the whole thing with the FAA, that they're blaming Trump and all these firings. They didn't fire any air traffic controllers or anyone with a job that has to do with safety. They fired a bunch of people that they just hired, and they were all on probation, and they were administrative jobs. Another lie. One by one, I'm going through lie after lie, and I'm watching the media do it. So what did I do about this?
You egged them on.
Yeah, don't be a chicken.
I did egg them on.
Shell-shocked.
I started talking with people I know who are psychiatrists, psychologists, and clinical psychiatrists. And I'm asking them this very question. Why? Why are they lying like this? What is going on? Why do a bunch of governors, before Trump takes office, go to the White House and try and figure out how they're going to stop him? and conspire to change his message. And the psychologist said something very interesting today. And by the way, this particular psychologist wants to come on the show and talk about this. Mm-hmm. And he talked about...
Sure you want to do that with you on the panel here and what that could mean for you if I get a hold of her and ask some questions about you?
Yeah, well, I don't mind revealing and finding some new things about myself.
Are you going to be on the couch?
Could be an early exit.
Because I like me. Yeah. So he started talking about things about, hey, it's not a joke, this Trump derangement syndrome. It's an actual anxiety order that I see with leftists completely triggered by certain words. And he said it's a sort of brainwashing, what we've talked about, but it all comes back to this basis. Everyone agreed on this, the psychiatrist, the psychologist, and the clinical psychiatrist. They said it's all about power and money, and the conspirators to the power and money are the people that need to stay in power. And it's clear how the left has conspired in a particular part of messaging with the media to create this division and this syndrome, but from a psychological standpoint, and this is what fascinated me with all, and it comes down to my argument about eggs, because I should win that argument, and I'm losing that argument. I got all these people jumping on me and hijacking this whole thing about Trump and eggs and Musk and all these crazy things, and I'm having professionals in the field tell me, no, this is real. These people have been brainwashed in a way. They are triggered by very, very simple things. It's about power and money because the people doing the brainwashing are the media. And when you start hearing it from professionals who talk about this, and they talk about the schools, the entertainment business, all of these institutions that sort of collaborate on these mini lies that we see every day. And they're not, some are smaller lies like, Al Sharpton, is saying this or that, or you got these governors or any of these other things. Some of them are bigger. But the thing is that they're all conspired together for one common goal, which is power. And the result of that is a very serious psychological disorder. And all three of them concur that we're in trouble if we can't find a way to heal some of these people, because that division just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So after I got canceled, and we did that whole thing about, what I went through personally on the cancellation there with my buddies there from the West Coast, I started asking questions to professionals. And I knew the answers, but I wanted validation to the answers. I wanted to hear from them. Does this really make sense? This is really happening with people. And what is it all about? And the all about came right back. He's like, what's wrong with you? It's power. It's the only thing it's about. And everything else falls off that. And these people who are deranged that you're arguing with, they are really triggered. It's almost like having PTSD.
Yeah, post-traumatic syndrome.
Where, you hear something and that is the example that he made. He's like, it's like having PTSD. You hear something and I say one thing, they are triggered. They are done. All of us have friends like this, right? So I do want to talk to more.
They're friends. I'd call them more acquaintances at this point.
I don't know if any of us have friends like you have.
David's neighbors.
I got so many friends across the board.
Throw eggs at his house.
And in Hollywood in general. I ever tell you the story about when Trump shared a rapper made a video with a Make America Great Again hat on one of my social media platforms, Triller. Wow. We get a message on it. He shared it on his social. We're high-fiving on the way to the office. We're going crazy. It's great. We get there, and people were quitting. People are saying, take it down or we quit.
Oh.
That's Trump derangement syndrome.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
It's a true story.
All right, 17 past the hour. We'll wrap it up when we get back. News and sports with Delgado and Slick right after this.
If they quit, do you have to pay unemployment?
No.
No, exactly. Let them quit.
Yep.
it's like, well, you deserve it. You're going to cancel my ass. I'm going to talk about it. And I went on to tell him, I said, look, I'm on this show. I use my Facebook for that stuff. And you went and just did what we all despise.
Yeah, we have an outlet.
I'm going to talk about it.
We have an outlet to talk about you.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't name names.
Like Facebook's customer support and how much they suck.
Yeah, they're very, very accommodating.
Talk about them every night.
Yeah, but overall, I was impressed with the amount of people that reached out after that, from our fan base in general, and even friends of mine. I mean, just private messages. And then, of course, a couple of people that that knew I was talking about them.
That's the best. Good.
I felt it pretty good because it was just like, turn the screw a little bit. And they deserved it. But we should have a psychiatrist or psychologist on because it really is fascinating when they start talking about the clinical side of it. Because it really is clinical.
A rip, as long as they got a sense of humor.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I got some questions about you I've been wanting to ask for 10 years.
Yeah, well, let's go find them out. Let's go peel the onion back. Yeah, let's go see what's making that tick. Or talk. One of the two.
How much are eggs in New York? I think I paid like $8.
Yeah, it's about
something
right.
like that, right?
$8.99.
For a dozen?
Yeah.
I saw that bodegas in the city are selling them as Lucy's now. You can only buy, so you can buy like
one
1 to 3 eggs, whatever you
Oh
need.
my God.
Oh my God! Really? I tell you.
What's Vin's total? What are you up on next, Vin?
That's
we
like-
wanted to get to 2,000. Are we anywhere close to that?
We were at 1,500 a minute ago.
No, that's not good.
Hang on,
not
let's
good. Hey,
let's
this audience, come
check,
on.
please. 1621.
That's not
Hey, we're doing okay.
I mean, we're in striking range, but it's going to have to be a hell of a 14 minutes.
Yeah.
14. 14 minutes. Oh,
Well, I said by the end of the show. What do you mean?
We're not going to be on air for 14 minutes. Gotta be like last
10
10.
o'clock.
You gotta give them last 10. Blow it hard. Blow it hard.
Come on, Rick. I need you to do
Like
the
my
shout out,
socks.
Only
Rick,
time you ever said that.
with your following.
Like my socks. Blow 'em hard.
Thirteen minutes till the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Vinny Mac's here. He's been, telling some stories and giving you some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. I asked Vinny in the commercial if he got any response to his cancellation story, and he said he did.
Yeah.
A lot of good and some questionable.
Well, the only questionable was the people who perpetrated the canceling.
Yes.
So wait. The people that canceled you watch you?
We're mad that you
Of course they
spoke
do.
about it.
Well,
Of course they do.
I shared it. I shared the clip on Facebook.
Okay.
And I
They're
also
still friends with you on Facebook?
I also wrote, well, friends of friends now. Some have dumped me, but some are still friends of friends. So they saw it and heard it through that. But I have to thank the audience because I get so many private messages on that. Amazing. Yes, thank you, audience. You guys were great and supportive, and I appreciate every comment you made. But it was great redemption. Happy about that.
Yeah.
They deserve it. I got a group of friends here that I went to high school with. Half of them are hardcore libs, half are conservative. We get along. We just don't let it get to that point. We've been friends since second grade. So we don't let it get to that point. And we have some arguments about it, but that's it. It doesn't go any further. These clowns, Yeah. All
right, let's do some sports. 12 minutes to the hour before we wrap it up for tonight. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, LFS 6B. One last check of the scoreboard here. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, we're going to go to a couple of stories real quick. Auburn baseball star hits home run hours after mother died. Paul Boyer, Breitbart. Cade Bellew, star baseball player for the Auburn Tigers, hit his team's first home run of the season hours after learning his mother died. Bellew hit the home run in the 6th inning against the Holy Cross Crusaders this past Friday before his team went on to win the game 4-1. The sophomore's mother, Stacy, had died after a battle with breast cancer a few hours earlier. Noted Fox News Auburn head coach Butch Thompson said the team was trying to figure out what they were going to do if Bellew was going to take the night to collect his thoughts. Coach Butch Thompson told the Montgomery Advertiser that Bellew's mother wanted him to play, and he honored that by scoring a home run. He and Stacy wanted him to play. Thompson said, I think it was the most inspiring thing we've ever seen. Our crowd is just amazing. They absolutely sensed and knew what was going on with him. An inspiration by Cade Bellew. So great story for that young man hitting a home run, something he'll never forget.
It was fantastic.
Passed away, right?
I watched it.
Incredible, right?
Yeah, I saw it too. It was awesome.
Unbelievable.
She had just passed. Like, I think you
In that
mentioned that
morning.
just an hour before or something, right?
Earlier in the day.
Early in the day.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And he had said the mother would have. I mean, obviously she was sick. I think they kind of knew that this is where
she
she
had
was
breast
going.
cancer.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
really sick.
Yeah, she was terminal.
But he said he knew. He just knew that she would want him out there, and of course, nothing guarantees that. I mean, that
Week 2028 presidential bench, they suck, he says. Filling Quinn of Breitbart. For someone who says he's not running for the Democratic nomination in 2028, ESPN host Stephen A. Smith spends a lot of time discussing the Democratic nominees in 2028. Smith also spoke at length about his appearance in a field of potential 2028 Democratic nominees at a poll last month. Used that same survey to trash Democrats, saying that his relatively impressive showing proves that the left has a very weak field. If you are the Democrats, that's why Stephen A. Smith is in the news. Smith said on his podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, because you all don't have anybody. You don't have anybody. Who you got? Who you got? Kamala Harris better not run. She better not run. She's not going to win the presidency in 2028. Keeping in mind respect for her, I'm not going to disrespect the former VP of the United States. I will never do that. But we got to be real about something here. When she ran for election on her own, she couldn't make it to Iowa in 2020. She ultimately positions herself and gets the vice presidency. They win the election in 2020. Joe Biden is feeling himself after the liberals won the midterms, and instead of being a transitional president like he promised, the man backstabbed the Liberal Party and turned around and said, I'm staying. They wanted him out. Smith continued, I'm not in the news because I'm here. Smith said he motioned upward. I'm in the news because the Democratic Party is down here. Damn it, lower than that. Down to the bottom. They suck right now. Horrible because they don't have a voice. Where the hell is the voice? Stephen A. Smith throwing the towel in on the Democratic Party for 2028.
He's been great. You know, he really has. I saw him on Bill Maher. He's been great on that show.
He's great, and then he's not great.
No, he has his moments where he sinks back.
Where all of a sudden he falls back to his previous position because that's more comfortable for him. But then he shoots over again to he just goes where the wind blows.
Yeah, he does more flipping.
But you know, he has been outspoken. You got to give him that.
That's his shtick.
That's his shtick. No, I mean, he's been outspoken against the left. I mean, that's not a popular stance for him to take.
But only recently.
Yeah, only recently.
They don't call him.
He wasn't saying much through 21 to 23.
Agreed.
Well, he went on Mark Levin's show quite a bit, honestly. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah, but he didn't call out his own company and all the garbage that they were doing.
I mean, again, it depends on your definition of calling out. He has repeatedly said for years that Pat McAfee has blazed a trail for everybody at the world leader, and that he would accept nothing less than his new deal will be a deal that Pat McAfee has, where they can control First Take, but after that, they got no say in anything I say, do, whatever.
Because he can go anywhere.
And he said Pat McAfee is to be thanked. I don't agree with everything Pat McAfee says, he said, but I cannot be denied the trail that guy has blazed for the rest of us now in media going forward.
No, I'm talking about the stuff where they went after their own kind at ESPN and fired them over their political thoughts.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but
that's what I was referring to.
It's not like he's been totally. He's gone on Levin. He went on, I think, Rush back in the day when Rush was still with us.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like he hasn't.
He went on with
been
Hannity,
willing to
too.
at least engage, because he has been.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And that's a wrap, Big D. Back to you.
All right, very good, Slick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. So President Trump was on with Hannity tonight, and Elon did a joint thing, and I haven't watched it yet, but I think the opening of the interview, President Trump started his interview by commenting on how he made X pay him $10 million for them banning them under the Dorsey regime.
Yeah.
He said Elon got a big discount. Musk then jumped in and said he loves President Trump. Trump said, I sued from long before Musk had it. he got a big discount. Musk said, I left it up to the lawyers and the team running Twitter, so I said, you guys do what you think makes sense. That's how the interview started.
Gotta love that.
That's how the interview started. So pretty interesting. We'll have to watch that after we're done. So, all right, anything left in the news, Delgado?
Yeah, plenty left in the news.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the new video, the harrowing video of the Toronto plane crash from Delta we talked about yesterday.
Oh, man.
Here it is. There's a couple different clips that we've got real quick. Cut number 9. Here's the plane coming in for the landing.
Yeah, well, that's not the one you need to watch.
That was just released earlier today, where you see it just kind of kaboom into the ground.
This pilot's got a lot of questions to answer.
Somehow, even with the fiery ball you see there, nobody dies. And it's amazing. Everybody lived.
There's a new one out tonight.
I think there's only 2 people left in the hospital.
And the wings break off on that plane. They're designed that way.
They're designed that way. But he's got questions to answer because there's another angle out tonight from the opposite side of the runway. The wings were not flared up at the end for landing. You can finally see it in this, which I saw someone comment, well, this explains why it dove into the ground so hard.
Right. And
the wings were not flared for landing.
Yeah. And here's some crazy passenger point of view video as they try to get out of the plane once they're on the ground. Check this out. People evacuating. Obviously, these are passengers helping each other out.
Unbelievable. I've flown in that plane, that particular model, and it's a small plane. It doesn't feel that safe, to be honest.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm watching a person run away from the plane with their carry-on baggage.
That is amazing.
Wow. It's like weird. It's like you should be thinking about, let me just clear out of here for my life.
Yep. And the peanuts.
But there you have it. Some point of view video. Thought that was important for everybody to check out.
As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, emergency personnel. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Most of all, they'll thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., right here, Real America's Voice, live from Studio 6B. Have a great night, everybody.